Yeah, so
Thingy,
I'll
thingy,
tell you when
thingy,
I'm ready.
thingy, change the thingy.
Yeah, when we used to draw nudes, right, a lot of people had trouble with this particular art class. Drawing naked people is not the easiest thing in the world, especially when it's the opposite sex. But I figured out how to get, you know, away with it without giggling or turning red. Instead of looking at like the man's eyes, I would just stare at his balls, and it was completely easier to draw.
Oh my God. I
Yeah,
guess that's one way.
yeah. You didn't expect that, did you, Joe?
I'm
I told you I
done.
wasn't gonna.
I'm kidding, man. Straight from
I'm
the
s-
mouth of
I'm
Joe.
sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I have a very warped sense of humor sometimes.
That's funny.
I actually like my sense of humor. See, now it comes up as our banner.
I know, I see that.
It
Isn't that
came up
weird?
as our banner.
It did.
It didn't for the first few times.
Hmm.
And that's not even the full banner. I didn't finish it. I just put it up because I like it better. I'm gonna definitely put the Terminator eyes in, like he's going after everybody. The little red laser in his eye. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be
All right,
cool.
so should I change it or should I leave it?
Um,
I'm gonna leave it. Just
okay.
let's
Let's just leave it, see what happens.
see what happens. Oh my God, something's gonna happen so different.
See what happens. So, uh,
Good evening, everyone.
oh,
Right?
hi
Did you
everybody.
forget to say good evening? I don't even know if anybody's on.
Oh, I'm going in there
I
now.
really got to stop putting oil in my hair. I put this Moroccan oil in and it's really good, but it's also just too much. Maybe for all those girls out there that have, like, I got frizzy hair because obviously I dye it a lot. So I do use oils once in a while, but I don't put anything else in my hair. Never have. And I rarely blow dry it too because I don't want to mess with it any more than I have to. When I worked in the Brooklyn Museum, a woman asked me, she was like, "Don't you think you're doing things to your brain? Your hair?" And I'm thinking to myself, it's possible because you know me, I'm like, oh God, she's probably right. What is it doing to my Well, I don't know what it's done. Maybe it has, but I didn't notice it. So, when you don't know what you're missing,
Right.
you never had it. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I forgot I probably told her something smart alecky, but I can't really remember. I was just like, what? Where did this come from? I was a coat checker. I was like light security for the museum. And she's telling me that I got dyed hair. I'm like, oh, geez. Fucking artists are weird, yo.
Some of them are.
No, you are. Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
can't help it.
I'm so sorry. Okay,
Like,
anyhow. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Is anybody on with us even?
probably.
Joe, we should really try to make a schedule. I actually figured out how to go through YouTube first and then to Zoom, but I think I still rather wait till Chris comes. And he's been messaging me a lot more, so I'm guessing he's a little freer up, freer upper. So I think we'll try because either that or we're just gonna make this a fun group.
Yeah, why not? That's what we're doing right now. Anyways, we're having fun exposing the truth. Isn't
Well,
that what we're doing?
yeah, but
I like exposing them.
this
I'm
isn't
having a
my
great day.
thing, yo. I got other
Yeah.
things to do. It's not
But you
my
know what? I saw the phrase today that I really liked. And America is experiencing the best month they've had in decades.
Oh yeah, oh
Sure.
yeah.
For sure. Trump is showing these politicians that, hey, when you
He ain't fucking
expose what
around.
you've been doing, motherfuckers, we don't like it.
It's a
We, the
slap in the
people, don't
balls,
like it. And
man.
some people Some of them people that's been running this country, these so-called leaders, which I said they're not leaders, they're supposed to be representatives.
Right.
Okay, so they call themselves leader. When you call yourself a leader like that, that means you're doing a coup. So I blame them for performing a coup if they're calling themselves leaders. You're supposed to be representatives of the
What was
people.
Joe?
We the people, by the people, for the people.
Joe. 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 What
Yes,
was the
Mom.
last meme you put up, or the meme before it
In our group,
in the community? Yeah.
the last one you put up. The last one I put up was the what's his name? Rep Al Green.
What was the one before Al Green?
Uh, yours.
Which was
Uh,
that?
it was How True It Is, where he's on the motorcycle, he's got the girl
No,
behind
no,
his
no.
wheel.
Come on. It's one of the memes that
Oh,
have to do with what you're talking about.
oh, it's nice to have a president with balls and a first lady
No,
who
no,
doesn't.
no. You had just mentioned something. I thought you put it up as a meme.
Hmm.
It was before the one about in the last month he got more done. You said something else, damn it. Darn it to hell.
Don't want it.
There goes my short-term, long-term
I didn't
memory. When I
learn
start
anything.
thinking about balls, everything goes. I'm gonna be on the balls now. I
Big
went from
balls.
boobs to balls. I don't
And then they got the guy
have
out
no.
there that's big balls. Gee, many Christmas. Now she's
I've
really
got big
confused.
balls, and you've got big
Now,
balls, and
now you're
you've
really going to
got
be
the
confused,
biggest
Carol.
balls of them all. What?
Now you're really going to be confused.
I know. Well,
What can you say?
at least I don't blush at the sun.
Oh, the other one that we were talking about was 22 hours ago, the treason one, the federal punishment for treason.
That's it.
Yeah. The federal
That's it.
punishment for treason, 18 USC 2381, states that a person guilty of treason against the USA shall suffer death.
That's the one. I knew there was something that I wanted to relate it to. Thank you,
And
hon.
I would
Oh,
say
I would have
this,
been upset with
those
that.
people in Congress, if it was you, they'd call for your death. And they would
No
not
trouble.
have two bones about it. And they would say, well, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position, son. That's what they would have said.
Go learn how to code.
Yeah, go learn how to
People that
code,
have
fool.
worked the pipes their whole life. Go learn how to
Yeah.
code on the
Yeah. And
computer.
that's what they told us when they cut down the pipeline.
Oh, dear
And now that we're
Lord.
shutting down their job in the government, their cushy job in the government, their wasteful job, they can go learn how to code. They're already on the computer. It should be an easy jump over.
Uh,
You guys will do so well learning how to code. I can't believe it. You'll do very well. And you'll be working.
it's
You'll
amazing. You actually
actually
know how
work
to
for
code
a living. You won't have to
a little bit.
you won't have to go to work and stand around the water jug talking shit about everybody. Then go to your go to your seat and sit there and get everything ready. Take maybe one or two phone calls. And hey, it's lunchtime, right? And then you come back from lunch and you talk to all your friends, you know, catch up, find out what everybody had for lunch, go back to your desk and make two more calls. Fuck, it's time to go home. That's a government worker.
Well, yeah, because they put the interns to work. I know because I did it.
Yeah.
I did it for two
Well, that's when
assemblymen.
they're not going to be
I
able to
did
do
it
that
for
no
New
more.
York council people, huh?
They're not
I
going to
got
be able to do that no more because they're cleaning that shit up.
right, right,
These people are
right.
going to have to do their own work. Get to work.
I honestly think that that fucking shit ruined my life. Like that
Yeah,
expression
I'm
ruined my whole perspective of life.
I'm not afraid of work, man. I always worked harder than everybody else. I know I did now because of the amount of machines I used to fix in a day compared to everybody else. That freaked me out when everybody told me that the national average is 4 machines a day. Well, goddamn, why am I doing 12 to 24?
Hmm.
I'm going, shit. And if I don't make it, everybody has a fucking tizzy. And I'm going, that's fucking shit's just not fair. But I fixed them all in that time in the day.
What in life is fair?
True
There's
that.
nothing has
You're
been fair. But that's
you
the
are
thing, we
you're
haven't even
true
be
that, man. That is so
they
true.
stopped our sciences, our medicine. They had control of everything we
Yeah.
watched, ate, said, did. They were taking over our liberties, all the other free
Yes, they
liberties
were.
that we
God, I'm
had.
having such a
They were
hard time with
taxing us,
that.
making us poor. This isn't just communism. All
Yeah,
right.
no.
It's we're old enough to realize now that this isn't actually a world or a government ploy. It's a world ploy. All right.
Yeah, it
It's
is
not
worldwide.
communism. It's not socialism. It's
No.
Satanism. All right. Now, I was always afraid to say that. I always like when people started, oh,
Right now.
socialism is coming to America. I was like, well, socialism is another word for Nazism, is another word for Marxism, it's another word. It's the same it's for communism. It's the same shit. If
Yeah.
you read enough of these books, like I only had to read one or two of each, like Marx book or whatever. I don't even remember his shit really, but you read a few paragraphs even and you get that it's the same crap said differently.
Hmm.
That's all it is. It's all it is. And then you realize, oh, there's a bigger game going on.
Right.
There's something else happening
They
here.
want control of us.
Right. But then you add the fact that they're Satanists and you're like, holy shit. Sex trafficking, child trafficking,
Hmm.
cannibalism, human torture
Everything, all
for
bad stuff.
delightment, for their
Hmm.
shits and giggles. Shiznits and giggles.
Well, I know I belong to the light, to the right,
Well, that's the thing.
to
You either
good,
know it,
to
like,
good. I
you're
do.
good or
I
you're
know.
bad.
I absolutely know it. I absolutely know that 100%. I belong to the good, to the right, to
What's the next
brightness, the
subject,
light,
Joe?
to everything that's
I
good.
want to I want to
I've
hear
tried it.
you praise life.
Right?
I'm just kidding. We'll do that later though. I just want to hear what's
So there's this article. It actually comes out of Sydney, Australia, but it's kind of indicative of what's going to happen worldwide because what happens anywhere is going to happen everywhere, right? So, an Israeli influencer, Max Viver, has released a chilling video of an online discussion he had with two Islamic medical professionals from Sydney, Australia. It has since been learned that the pair were working a night shift on Tuesday, February 11th at Sydney's Bankstown Hospital. Uh, Let me see. They posted the clip, the discussion, and he says the police are asking me for the unedited version. He says he has nothing to hide. So in the video, the first man pops into the online chat room and claims he is a doctor at a hospital. At first, he is friendly, but as soon as he learns that Vifer is an Israeli, his tone immediately changes, and he tells Vifer, "Eventually, you're going to get killed." Vifer also confirmed that he served with the Israeli Defense Forces. A female nurse then jumps into view and accused him of killing innocent people. The conversation gets fiery hot as the woman declares, "One day your time will come and you will die a most horrible death." The female nurse said, "If an Israeli comes to her hospital, she won't treat them. She will kill them." The man then brags, "You have no idea how many Israelis came to this hospital, and I sent them to Jahannam."
To hell.
which is the Arabic term for Islamic hell. And he made the sign of slashing their throats as he said it. Is that vengeful?
I'm afraid we're gonna hear a bunch of this.
A lot of this crap's gonna
So
happen.
basically, you have some kind of hospital there that's run by, but you said it was only two men in the beginning?
Yeah, yeah, and then the nurse jumped in.
What I'm saying is that the one man is saying that he's killed a lot of Israelis.
Hmm. Right.
What did they control the hospital that nobody else caught on to? This isn't anything new. I mean, for the fact that it's between religions
Well, I
makes
mean,
it news, but
they've caught nurses
look,
killing
oh,
patients before.
there's
They've caught
Dr.
doctors
Death.
killing.
There was Dr. Death. There was Jack the Ripper. There was tons of
Yeah.
doctors that would kill people. There's Dr.
Right.
Kevorkian. I
Right.
mentioned long ago.
Right.
They're all,
And
they're,
yeah. Mhm.
but
Then there's the
uh
clumsy ones who leave things in people's bodies and then they
yeah,
close them
we
up.
went over that not too long ago. We were
Yes, we
just
did.
talking about that.
Yeah,
They
we
leave
did.
shit in people's bodies, like the scissors,
Clumsiness.
and
It's called clumsiness.
that's not
Jeez.
clumsy. I mean, how? Because usually when there's surgery, there's at least five people.
You would think, how can that something get left in somebody's body like that? That just freaks me out.
It's gotta be like backhand stuff.
Yeah.
Who's yelling? I remember Presley, Elvis's daughter, went to get her face done, and they injected her with acid. These people are crazy.
Oh, that's just nasty.
Yeah, and she knew something was wrong right away, I guess, because they didn't get her other side.
Yeah.
I don't know. Priscilla, I think so. Was it Priscilla? Was his daughter's name? The one that married Michael Jackson.
I think it was, yeah, I think it was Priscilla. Yeah, Priscilla. Yeah, the
See,
the white
that
lady, they
marriage
had the
never made
baby.
sense to me.
Then they had a baby too, right? I think that was a marriage of convenience.
Yeah, no, it wasn't convenience. It was to help Mikey.
Yeah.
You know, it looked better if he had a wife that he wasn't doing the shit with children. And
Right.
I don't know. Michael Jackson is a enigma to me. He's an enigma
I don't know.
because I do believe he is a clone. I do believe in clones, and I think Mikey is a clone for a very, 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 very long time.
Well, I sent you a clip from Disney because I was trying to save it for myself, and I usually do that. I'll send it to you so I can view it later. But it's a clip of Disney making clones and who they made as clones. They make child actors
Yeah,
and
I
then
knew
they
that.
raise them.
Oh, I knew it for years. I knew that they had been, but I mean, Disney is a big one. Disney has their own cloning facility,
You know, they're saying
probably here
Zac
in
Efron is
Florida.
one of them.
Huh?
Zac Efron is like one of them, the clones.
Who's Zac Efron? Like I know. Who is it?
He's one of them. He's one of the I don't know. He's one of them Disney stars. I thought everybody would know him.
Why would you assume that I would know something as stupid as that? The last Disney
You don't
thing I
watch
ever
TV, do you?
watched was I had a pity with my oldest brother. Isn't I'm fucking
Yeah,
48 years old. You ain't gonna get me to sit down and watch Star Trek or Star Wars anymore.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
then
know.
you're not gonna get me to do it. Go get a fucking old book.
Can't even watch the freaking
Lord of
Picard ones now after you showed that
Lord
video.
of the Flies or Steinbeck or something. Stop with the bullshit because you
Yeah,
know it's all regurgitated crap that they took from the past,
that it
from
is.
other beautiful minds. They really do. There's nothing that they have written in the last 50 or 60 years that wasn't written 400, 500, 600 years ago.
Right.
Fuck off. So sick of the Disney. God, get off of it, people. I really did. I felt so bad that my family, I wasn't hanging out with them in New Jersey because it's what they did. They watched even my husband went and watched shit with my sister. They watched shit. I didn't watch with them. I have no, I have, because you know what? I would rather, and my sister reads a shitload, but she reads gory, really disgusting gore. I mean, Stephen King times like a million. Like I don't even get that, but she does. Well, I'd rather read like, the Testament, the New Testament sitting here and then fucking watch Disney. Give me a break. It's all to waste your time. It's all regurgitate. If it was new stuff, right? AI is new. Bailey does all this AI music, Bailey Next, and he did the America one for us too.
Mhm.
Now, this is a different type of music, but really it's not because the Brits were doing techno music in the 80s. We always had those keyboards and we did it too. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah. Hmm.
dun. We did all this crap
And
too.
before that even. So yeah. Hmm.
It's just a new version being tweaked.
Hmm.
That's all it is. And if Disney didn't have the artwork, the stories would have failed because they're tweaking the original stories too much. And a lot of these original stories are not pretty. They're not happy endings. They're grotesque. They're disgusting what they're taking. Walt Disney was a Satanist. They have
I think he might have been.
oh, I know he was. He was anti-Semitic.
Hmm.
Why would any Jew go to Disney?
Look what made. Look what he made.
Um, there was also the ships going from Disney to Epstein Island. But he has Club 33, I think it is. Now 33 is the number of the cabal.
So which one was first, the one in Florida or the one in California?
Florida, Florida.
Yeah.
Because it was swampland.
Yeah.
Really, Florida wasn't really built up until like the 40s, 50s, 60s,
Right.
60s. Really. It was a lot of swampland.
Yeah.
And I know that from actually
No,
I've
no,
heard,
you're right. No, you're right. That's the
yeah.
story. They even tell it over there at where you are, where you
See,
live.
mafia people like
They
to
tell you
start
that.
where there's nobody around, like
Right.
Bada,
Right. Yeah.
right? And
That was
like
then that was
Disney.
in the middle of the desert, Nevada,
Yeah,
Las Vegas,
oh, I know.
smack dab in
I
the
get
middle of
it.
the desert.
The Disney has that Club 33, right?
Right.
First, you walk in there and it's a black and white tiled floor.
Hmm.
That's red flag. I should go like this, actually. That's the red flag for the Illuminati. The black and white tiled floor is, hey, we're the Illuminati. I'm not saying everybody, black and white is supposed to be old fashioned, but it's literally Illuminati sign. And that's what this
Right.
club has in it. It was a fantastical place too. Like I've only seen pictures. I've never been there, obviously, but
I've been
um
there. I've been there.
not into Club 33 though.
No, no, not that place.
I've been outside of Disney and
I just been into
I went to
Disney World. I've
Universal.
been to Florida, the Florida Disney World.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah, we spent like 3 days in there. I
I
know.
never wanted to. I never had an
That
interest.
was in 2000.
Never had an interest.
Yeah,
It's so weird,
2000.
my separation between Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Trek, I learned stuff.
Hmm.
Star Trek had morals,
Hmm.
at least not the classic Trek, which, had some morals, but mostly it was, Kirk fucking green aliens. But Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. I never liked the one with Scott Bakula. I even met him before he went in. I just didn't like it. I love Scott Bakula. I do. He still makes me laugh in a way, but I never liked Enterprise. I couldn't get through the first episode. I was just like, and
Hmm.
usually I'll give it a few. No. It's like me watching season one of Star Trek Next Generation. All right, I
Well,
gotta stop.
by the time that stuff come out, I mean, back when it first first came out in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, it was big time and I watched it all. But when it changed
Oh,
and started to update, I started watching them, but my stories had already moved on to sword and sorcery. So that's where
I
my
love fantasy. Yeah, I mean, I was a Dungeons and Dragons role playing, live action role playing girl. Yes, absolutely. I was role playing until I still role play, motherfucker. Love it. So Joseph is correcting me. Disney, I always
uh,
thought Disney, okay. So Disneyland California was first,
was it?
which is still, it wasn't as built up,
Hmm.
until Hollywood. Certain parts of California weren't built up now. And then Disney World, Florida. Yeah, Disney World, Florida. Did I go to Disney in France? I think I went outside of Disneyland in France too. And I walked right past there. So I had no interest. God, I don't know. Then again, I haven't been on a roller coaster since I'm like 17, 18. Six Flags, Scream Machine, that kind of shit. That's old. No, I don't know. Why risk death? Okay, what's next, Joe?
God, my eye is itching.
Well, thanks
Um,
for telling me. Can I scratch it from
sure,
here?
sure.
Maybe my hand is as long as your penis.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Right.
Hey.
Mm. Only those
So,
that watch us know what we're talking about, so.
yeah, I know, right? When we're, this deportation of illegals, some of the illegals is causing a problem because they're from very far away, very extra double far away, like across the ocean. So they came here. It's cheaper to travel from continent to continent if you're outside the United States and you go from like say from Africa to the Middle East, the Mid America or even South America and then travel up. So it's easier. So what they do is they travel from there to Panama because Panama accepts it. And then they come
Panama.
from
See,
Panama.
there was a reason.
That's
There
why
was a
they're going
reason.
exactly. So that's what they're doing. What they're doing
Traveling.
is
Yeah, because of the
instead of
canal.
sending them back to their country of origin, because we just can't, I mean, we can't do that, obviously. What we're going to do is we're going to take them to Panama, to the country that they came from.
And have
In other
them,
words, when they came from Europe, they
that's
landed
it.
somewhere. So
That's why
that's where
Trump did
we're
it.
going to take them. We're going to put them in that country that they came from. And
He's gonna
that's what we
fix it
should
all up.
do. Actually, what we should do if we were smart, I mean, because Mexico let them, we should just put them all in Mexico and say, sorry, you deal with it, Mexico. But then, of course, the cartels would kill them all.
That's the thing. There's only so much
Mm,
that these smaller countries are gonna be able to do without our help.
yeah.
That's just a fact. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that, but
Well,
it's interesting.
it was our politicians
Send them
that
on a
made
boat,
these
man.
countries
One big ass boat.
depend on us, which
10,000.
was wrong.
What was it? I'm sorry.
Our politicians made all the other countries depend on us. They
Our
all depend on
politicians
our
did.
money, on us giving them.
Is that right? Our politicians did that.
Well, the cabal, the evil.
Yeah. Thank you, Joseph, by the way, and good evening. I'm glad you see, I should have, I thought Disney was the first one. Well, I thought Florida was the
So,
first.
I guess it is California. California?
But
I
again, it's the
really thought
same
it was
thing. They
Florida too.
not built up areas. Like New
Yeah, I
York
really
City
thought it
has
was.
been built up since,
Yeah.
it's always been built up.
Well,
I
maybe
mean,
that's why California was first because
desert.
well, it's
They
not there,
played
not
in
in
the
Cal,
desert.
not
They
there.
played in the sand, the mud, making
It's not really
castles.
desert there.
It was desert before they built it. If you have ocean, well, I don't mean desert as in, I mean
Of
sand,
course you don't.
arid. If you have ocean, you're going to have sand,
True that.
and it's
That
all
is true.
ocean. Like most of the, well, on one side at least, but
Right.
you know
All up and
geography
down that
well
coast.
better than I do. So you
And I've
figure it
been
out.
there. I've been there. So yeah, you're right. I've been
Yeah,
there.
going to California is like me saying I've been to like a part, different parts of Florida, which is just,
But I have. I've been to both places.
I don't think you understand what I mean.
But
Like I
I'm
lived in New
lost.
York my whole life. Does that mean I stopped by Queens?
Oh, I get you.
Dumbass. Like there's different
Why,
and
huh?
every county, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop biting your nails, dude.
I'm biting my thumb.
What's wrong?
Piece of skin coming off.
That's fucking
Cut
gross.
it.
You're like
Hurts. It hurts. It,
Band-Aid on it.
it's just a paper cut.
Why didn't you deal with it before we went live? So you
Oh,
bite it? A paper cut? What are you
yeah,
mad?
just I
I'm
am
just
mad. Mad, I'm insane.
I'm just teasing him. All right, what else do we got to talk about?
Oh,
Oh, okay, so this morning, was it this morning that my volume went off, right? Like I'm talking.
mhm.
There was a lot of stuff going on. And until I had to watch it, right? To watch our program to see like exactly, and it was really bad. And I was trying to tell you guys that my condo was shaking. It's been, it's like,
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, there are some times that whatever seems to be coming down makes like a sonic boom. Just a
there you
couple of
go.
well, more than a couple of times. It's happened
Got
like
it.
3, 4 times. And it sounds like a missile is ready to come down and fucking explode right on top of this house. It's it's crazy. I don't know, but it's like I've said, this wasn't happening under Biden. When Biden first took office, there was a little racket. And then for a couple of years, now I wasn't here last year, but for a couple of years it was very dead. Like
Well, yeah,
hardly
they
any
shut it
action.
down.
Huh?
They shut everything down. He shut everything down.
No,
Biden
he
did.
didn't.
We
We were
tried
fighting
to.
over there and in the Ukraine. We
Yeah.
weren't here. He didn't shut. Biden had no control. Stop, Joe. For fuck sakes, it's been seven
Administration.
fucking years.
The evil cabal had a little bit of
I
control
really
because they were
just,
sending.
please, either you believe it or you don't. Because if you believe it, you're going to say it correctly.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm fucking
I
wasting
don't
my
know.
time.
But see, I'm thinking that still they
You're
still
thinking
had
that
a little
Biden was
bit of
still in
control
control, even though
over
you
it.
know it's fucking Jim Carrey or whoever else you want to believe it was. Stop! I cannot take it. Joe, this is why I want to
They
stop.
need they need some yeah.
You need what? You need what, Joe?
Well, I was thinking of this article that I saw. I didn't think much about it, but it was actually Jim Carrey. Now that you said it,
Didn't you
and
just
he
say
was
you
saying
sent
that he
me
was play
something
acting
Disney with
somebody.
clones? And
Yeah.
you're speaking as if you don't understand this shit at
All right.
all.
See how confusing it all is.
It
See, even
isn't.
somebody like me is
We
confused
were
still.
tricked by the evil for
Thank you.
centuries, for millennia.
There
How
you go.
hard is it?
It's hard.
How hard is it for you not to say
It's
Biden was
very
in
hard.
control?
It's very hard to come out of the shell that you've been put under for so long. I mean, it's cracking through, but it's really hard to come out of it. You have to understand, Carolyn, not everybody can come out of it just right away like that. Nobody just comes out and says, "Yep, everything is true." Nobody believes everything, I don't think. I don't know. I'm trying.
I'm not asking everybody, but I
I'm
can't
trying
break
hard.
you, and you're the average Joe. I can't even break you.
I'm trying so hard and I'm close. I just they just keep I don't know. I don't know. Some of the stories we read, some of the news articles I find. I don't know.
All right, Joe, just get on with it.
I don't know.
How can you not believe at this point? How can anybody with half a fucking brain
Because you
or a
still have people
percentage
like,
of
hey,
politics in their head not
yeah,
understand that Trump doesn't come into office and in 3 weeks create a whole new name, Gulf of America? You cannot possibly do this. Do you get
well,
it?
I think,
This takes years of fucking planning.
yeah,
Not only does it take
and I
years
believe
of
that,
planning, but for
and
him
I
to be
believe
able
it
to
takes
just
years of
do it
planning.
and and everybody is accepting it, Joe. Are you fucking out of your mind already?
Hmm.
Please stop. I don't understand how people, 20, 30 years older than me don't get this. They've lived it longer than I. Elon Musk. Are you serious? A guy with a Cologne last name? Prince of fucking South Africa comes here to save the day with Trump? Another guy that just happens to be rich and famous? You couldn't have written a better Disney couldn't have written a better book.
Book.
They had to write a play. They had to write it first. That's why I'm suggesting, I always figured it was, people knew and things were getting out. But I always thought by 2012, 2014, 2012, we were getting some control. But now I realize it was they started getting control right after Kennedy's assassination. Okay. And then Trump really came into play right before 2020. I mean, 2020, 2000, I should say.
Yeah.
Just because you're seeing it now doesn't mean that they haven't been planning it. People are saying, I'm hearing little news here and there that's always showing me that they knew in the past.
Okay. See,
Do you
Joseph has the same problem cracking through that shell. It's hard. It's a hard fucking shell because we're 30 years older than you. It's that shell is harder. I mean, it's cracking, but it's a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, you're it's like saying, hey man, everything you were taught, every fucking thing you were ever fucking taught is a lie. That's hard to fucking deal with. It's really that's why you said it. You and Patch yell about it and say, we gotta wake the masses up. Gotta wake the masses up. Well,
But Joe, it's
this is
been
part
so
of it.
long and you still
Yeah,
talk to me daily.
it's the
Joseph has
truth.
just only been watching us we've only been on for
True.
8 months, not even 8 months yet.
Yeah.
All right. We have over 200 videos on this.
I
Me and
believe
you,
I
Joe,
believe you.
Joe,
The
forget about
the
everybody
death
else.
part
Why
is
the
what I'm
hell
having a
aren't you saying things correctly?
the death part is what's keeping us, I think, from believing the whole story because everybody keeps saying they're gone, but then they keep showing up, and yet everybody keeps saying they're clones, but yet we know they're making them. We know there's masks. We know they can do that, but are they doing it?
I was
What the
watching
fuck's
Adam
going on?
Schiff.
It's
Listen,
hard to fucking see what the hell's
Joe,
happening.
stop
And everybody
mumbling.
being nasty still.
Stop mumbling. I was
I'm not
watching,
mumbling.
it's kind of like you're ongoing the same point.
It's just
I
hard
was
to crack
watching
through the
Adam
shell.
Schiff like this morning, or yeah, this morning, I think. God knows, whatever. Last night, this morning, same difference. And I was like, holy shit, this guy sounds like a real man for once. He didn't sound like a clown. It wasn't him. It was not Adam Schiff. If you had watched him 5 times prior and then watched this man You would know it's not the same dude.
What was he on?
I probably still have it up. Let me see. Oh,
Because I've seen I've seen him and his fucking shit eating fucking looks that he's got.
Cash Patel destroys Adam Schiff. We know what you're hiding. It was not, I am positive it looks a lot like him. It looks exactly like him from what I'm seeing right now. Maybe a little heavier, maybe in the face a little heavier, which could be a mask. But the sound was a little off. He was a little off, just a little bit. And his demeanor,
Yeah.
I'm
Well, see, I
telling
know
you,
things help like the one dude that looks like Robin Williams.
right,
Okay.
right.
Things like
That's why
that
it's
help.
coming out slowly.
Yeah.
Things
Things
like
like
that,
that
he'll
help.
never admit for another 10 years. And I have a feeling we're going to have that with JFK Jr. It's not going to be like as fast as all the conspiracists hope. It's probably going to be another 5 or 10 years, or maybe never, maybe never.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks like Uncle Pappy is very happy to get behind the camera again. Some people are meant to be on film, I'll tell you. They're just so spectacular, you know? And Robin Williams is one of that. He is the star. You could have Trump around Robin Williams, and Robin Williams is going to win because
Yeah.
he's just the star, you know?
Hmm.
He was great. And that's why I'm thinking, Jesus, Christopher Reeve. That's a hard one for me to but you see, I don't believe it or not believe
Yeah.
it.
See, and he would be very old, Christopher Reeve.
Oh, really?
I
He would
think
be
he
the
would
same
be
age as
me or older than me.
he would be the same age as Robin Williams. Well, how old is look it up. He always says these things and like it's like we have computers. I just looked up the shift thing for you. You could look up the Christopher Reeve. You're probably right. He'd probably be your age. But you see, Elon Musk's face looks extremely odd. Now, South Africans don't look different than any other human beings. It looks like somebody who's had a lot of restructural finish. And for someone like Chris Reeves in the chair having to use his,
1952, 9 years older than me.
so it doesn't, so 71.
No, I was born in 61 and he was born in 52.
So how old is he? What does it say?
He would be 70, 71, 70. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you fuck with me? I swear to God. Do you guys see what he
That's
does to
old.
me? Yeah, I'm actually. Yeah, that
He would
makes
be
sense
old.
though. He was in his 30s and the 80s.
Yeah.
But Elon doesn't, he looks older to me. I always thought that. Not 70, but you don't know what they could do nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's tough then. That's a tough one. I could see in the early 60s being able to, but not in the 70s. Like John Denver, you listen to the to Vincent Fusca and you could tell by the sound of his voice that he's not in his 60s. All right, 60s talk more clear still. It's when you hit late 70s, you start hearing, and then the 80s, forget about it. And that's how he sounds. So I know that Vincent Fusca is at least 15, 20 years older than he seems to appear. Besides the fact that that black hair looks so obvious, like a wig. You know, some guy at his age does not have that black hair and that black beard anymore. And my dad died with black hair. He had a little gray, little bald spot back here, but he had black hair. But his beard always grew in. Uh, Well, it grew in red actually. That goes to show where we came from, but but it would grow in red and black and not when he got older, it was your color almost. So come on, that nobody in their 60s grows black beards. That's all fake. Why would this guy from Pennsylvania, who is pretty well known, you could just Google his name and you'll see him. Why would he put on a wig and a fake beard and sound 15 to 20 years older? There's a big difference. I mean, you could tell the difference between a young woman. I sounded different. I spoke much softer. Then again, 30 something years of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. I'll do it to you.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Breathing in pollution does it to you too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a bunch of different shit. But nobody trips up the stairs. There is no fucking 80-year-old man, aside from maybe Trump, with Joe Biden's charisma. Like he acted as an old man, but he
Yeah.
ran up the flight of stairs to the plane.
Mhm.
I could go on with this shit. He would
Yeah.
poop right there. He would poop
Yeah.
right in front of everybody. But he did a speech. Remember, we watched it together,
Yeah.
and he barely flawed any. There was no flaws. This just doesn't make sense,
Right.
people.
Well, so listen, this is what Joseph says. He says, I've been going through all this for 25 or so years with two true friends who are clones of you in your thinking and ways. So I will have my own ways of thinking what is or isn't, sometimes with second thoughts, as I do. Because, I mean, it's just all this fucking shit is just so fucking far out there. It's like, oh my God. I mean, and you think about it. Think about all of this waste that Elon is actually finding. All this crap. My God, it's just too fucking much. It's even more than we thought.
Oh, no, it's not. Not
It's
for
more
me.
than I thought.
I expected all of this. Once I realized that,
It's deep.
once Trump got in office, I knew it was over. You don't
It's
understand.
so
2016,
fucking deep.
2015, when he was running, I knew it was
Yeah.
all over. Now, how did I know that?
Oh God.
So I don't
That's all
understand
I
what
know.
you,
This shit's deep.
yes, it goes deeper and deeper, and it's gonna be bad because you're gonna have brothers and sisters like the Kennedys that have no idea what the other one's doing. The
Exactly.
Kennedys know, but you're gonna have others like that.
Yeah.
You really will. You'll find out families that we've known, except for, I mean, there's a lot that are included, like Will Smith. They all know, right? Um, Martin Sheen, the whole family, right? Charlie Sheen, they all know. That's why, what's his name? What's Charlie Sheen's brother?
Um,
Estevez?
uh, Emilio Estevez.
He stayed away.
Yeah. Well, I
Why do
think
you
his mom
think?
kept him away.
Yes, why do you think? Do you think it's because, oh, he's of a different nationality? No, folks. He's
No.
of, because Spanish are
Mm,
Christian people.
very.
Very, very Christian. When
Yes.
she saw Baba, she took the baby away.
Yeah.
She knew.
Yeah.
Mamas know. But I don't
Yes.
understand what Joseph means about true friends who are clones of you in your thinking. Oh, clones of us in our thinking. Okay.
The
In
way
our
we think.
the way we're
Yeah.
thinking. Well,
Yeah.
what you think, Joe? I don't think so. You proved it to me a
No.
thousand times that you're not thinking this way. But Joseph, the fact that so many of us think this way has to be an eye opener too.
It is, and it.
Well, we have a
Hmm.
tiny, tiny show, but I
See,
mean, I have about 4 dozen friends that are fully awake, at least 4 dozen. And I have tons, 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 tons more of that are a quarter awake, that just understand certain things. And it's so funny how so many of our friends don't even bother to come on the show because well, I'm gonna talk to them. I always talk to them about shit. Like Ela constantly asks me, so tell me what's going on. I'm sorry, she's got kids, she's got a life. I don't expect her to sit here at 11 at night listening to us drone on. We're not
Yeah.
that interesting. I was very surprised with Brett actually. Uh, Last time he came on, he said, "Hey, Carolyn, I do believe a lot more." And he was like open to it, and he was like, "Oh,
I do. Well, you know, when I first met you guys, I did not believe in your guys' theory of 9/11. I didn't. And I didn't believe that it was a missile that hit the Pentagon. I thought it was a plane. I really did. I believed
plane couldn't do
that,
that damage, my friends.
I
A
know,
plane is aluminum."
I believed they
Aluminum.
were, I
Hello,
know,
ever used aluminum?
I believed they were telling us the truth. I really believed that. And it was a very scary thing when I first met you that I thought they were telling the truth. And you guys said, no, that's not even what's going on. This is what's happening. And then I said, oh, that's even worse.
Right.
So
Finding out it's an inside job for the first
yeah,
time. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I've been pulled down the rabbit hole, so to speak. And it's a rough hole to travel down.
It took me almost 7 years to convince my girlfriend at home.
And
Her
she's
and her.
probably still not all the way convinced.
Oh no, she doesn't want to be. That's the thing. Some people just don't want to know.
It's hard to be fucking totally 100% convinced. It is because
And
there
why
are
am
other
I?
things that you just don't believe in that you guys believe
It's not
in.
easy for me to believe in it either. But the coincidences are just too great.
Yes, they
It's
are.
mathematically impossible, which is exactly what Q had said. I know some people don't follow Q. I don't either. I really don't either. But if if a couple of things that they have coming out with, like
I know you're
how many
saying that.
times is mathematically impossible? How many conspiracies or coincidences until it's mathematically impossible? That was brilliant because it's true. I have predicted in the last week like 6 or 7 different things just by saying them. And it does not, it's not going to my head.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I'm so proud of myself, or I even think twice of it usually. It's just been happening and happening and happening more. Ela messaged me. She goes, "You are definitely I forgot how she put it, not psychic, but," and I'm like, it's not even that. It's we're all one. I wish I
Yeah.
could take the credit and be like, "Oh yeah, I got superhuman power." No. No, 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 no. We're all one. And that's the hardest part because I keep saying I'm not going to move on until at least I could get as many people to move on with me. Otherwise, it wouldn't be true to I wouldn't be true to myself. Does that make even any sense? If I can't help you, then I'm worthless to me, to myself.
Well, I have learned quite a bit since I have met you. I mean, it has been an eye opener. It has been a crazy ride. Um, I just I can't believe some of the shit that we have discovered. What you have showed me
Did you read
is,
what Joseph said?
yeah, it's very scary.
No, read what you read it, but you didn't read it out loud, friend.
I'm yeah. He said, what if it is or if it isn't? He looked at it all possible ways, and to him, it is or it isn't. So I guess that's a good way to put it, Joe. I'm still confused because You
Okay,
know,
so I agree with that statement, but what it comes down to is that it seems to be is and is and is and is and is.
and it is, and you're right, and it's coming out that way. It
That's
is
the
coming out that way.
that's the point. Everything's been coming out little by little
It,
before the last
right.
decade, you know? And the 9/11 thing, I never, ever, ever, ever I saw it with my own fucking eyes, and I said it was an inside job to the guy right next to me. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I was already in college. Yeah, probably. But yes, I was. But no, I knew it. And I still maintain that I did not see the second plane. It had to have come from behind. And even Matt proved it to me because Matt was like, but I saw it, I saw it. I said, where were you, Matt? Where were you in? Because the TV,
I saw it on the
all the
TV.
media showed it
Yeah.
differently, but their
Yeah.
way,
Huh.
not from what I saw. And I had said what I said before the
And
second
I'm
plane hit.
18 to 2,000 miles away from there. And I thought I saw a plane go in, you know, I saw it on the TV. Just freaked out when I saw it.
At the same time, the Woolworth building, which would have been behind my view, right? But so the World Trade Center and behind my view would have been the Woolworth building, right? Had called about an explosion on the top floor where there was a hole in the building prior to 9/11. Right? But the thing is, nobody paid attention to it because the fucking buildings fell. So nobody paid attention to what happened to the Woolworth building. It would be devastating if they shot a missile out of the Woolworth building.
Hmm.
But it's high enough. It could have definitely been. I mean, that's just one of the conspiracies. It makes more sense to me. They couldn't do it in like the army base because that would eventually be told, you know? They didn't want it in like a science area because that would have been looked at first too, like some kind of technical MIT, you
Hmm.
know? But out of the Woolworth
Would
building,
have been told. And that's the thing. It would have been told.
it would have been, yes. But
That's my problem.
out of the Woolworth building, I think is just mostly offices and stuff.
Mhm.
But it's just it actually the only reason I kind of believe it is because it fits my what I saw.
Right.
I didn't see the first plane hit. I was in the subway and I came up. We went up to the TV. This black man had his TV. He was fishing and he had a little TV. I don't know. I guess it was battery operated. I don't remember. And we're looking at the TV and we're looking at what's in front of us. And I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. And I was thinking, I was like, it's an inside job, isn't it? And then I came back afterwards because I went to call my mother and we didn't have cell phones
Yeah.
or they weren't working. I might have had one, but it wasn't working. So I had to use a payphone. And when I came back is when I saw the second building. Because, you know, it was about how long was it between them? 15, 20 minutes between the hits. When I came back, I was walking straight back looking and I was like, how did that thing just explode? Where I'm looking at the sky. You understand there's the river in front of me and Manhattan right across the river. And I'm like, where the fuck, how did that explode? Where did that come from? It didn't make sense because it was the side of the building. It's it, I
Mm.
had to be an artist, right, to understand this shit. I don't get it. It didn't make sense to me then. And that's when I turned to the guy next to me, and my boyfriend was somewhere, I don't know. He was devastated. But I remember turning to the guy next to me and saying, this was an inside job after the second one. After the second one. The first one could have been an accident, but after two into both buildings, inside job. Our government did it because our government would have been alerted if it was from outside, right? That was my first thought. Then to find out it was our planes. I did believe it was our planes at first,
Hmm.
but not until it was explained that planes are mostly aluminum. Those buildings had iron and steel. No. My girlfriend's father, or grandfather was it, built some of the iron structures in the building. And that's the one I was trying to convince. And she's like, no, 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 my grandfather. I was like, I don't care if your grandfather built it. You ask him. Well, he was dead already, but he would have told you that there's no fucking aluminum cannot destroy iron. It just cannot. It doesn't even destroy brick that well. For it to come out the other side, YouTube was great on this stuff in 2004, 2005. It really was because it made me feel so good that there were other people out there that believed
Hmm.
me, that
Oh
were
yeah.
like me.
Oh well, I told you I ran into that one guy when I was driving the truck in what, 2007 or 2008.
Yeah.
He was a total conspiracy theorist, and he was trying to convince me so wholeheartedly that 9/11 was an inside job and that we did it, and it wasn't the
It
people that they were blaming. It was our
wasn't
government that did it.
Afghanistan. It wasn't
Yeah, he had all
Pakistan.
kinds of conspiracy tapes and shit. He showed me a few, and it's exactly what you guys showed me, and that's what made me believe it
A
because
lot of this stuff didn't
I
come out until Trump went into office.
don't know,
A lot
man.
of stuff. I had very little to go on prior, except that's why I studied airplanes. I really did. I watched everything on airplane. It's so funny, but I did. For years.
Techies,
And my husband would come home and be like, "Oh my God, you're watching this shit again."
yep, techies, man.
Well, that's how something's being attacked right now. You can't hear it, right?
Mm-mm.
I feel so bad because you never know if a gator is getting something. We have baby gators. They can't really eat much here, but like Hawkeye might be too big for them, but the cats are a nice little meal. All right, do we have anything else?
There's always more.
What was this about the freighter?
Rare. Oh, I can't I can't find that story, so I don't really want to say anything about it. Just that it was, I had read I had read another article somewhere where two I think it was a Chinese freighter that ran into another
That's right.
ship out on the ocean. So it's not just the airplanes that have cheap parts in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That doesn't sound like part of the plan. It sounds like part of
I
somebody
know.
trying
I
to
don't
get
know.
back at
I
us.
don't know.
There might be something little bit left, little bit of power somewhere. Because I'm telling you, I really believe that inauguration was faked. I don't think it was Melania. It wasn't her lips. Believe me, what to me, I'll take
Really?
another look, but it
Hmm.
wasn't her lips to me. And then, and that's like the only way I could tell at first, but I don't, I think of these things and then I don't have to because things don't matter. Some things don't matter, so I don't go back and check. Like, who cares if it was a true inauguration or not? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the conspiracies that are going on. Like the flat earth theory. I can't do anything about it. I can't. Um,
I just
Even if
I
I
have
see if
such
it's
a hard
true,
time with the flat Earth theory. I really do. I just
In the Bible, it says that the earth is a dome or has a dome shape, which means round,
Where?
and has four pillars.
Hmm.
That's biblical. So if they could explain the flat earth, what of the four pillars? Why
Hmm.
what
Interesting.
would it why would you have pillars? Why does a chair have legs? Right? Why would you have pillars underneath the earth?
Good question.
Are you understanding what I'm saying? Why do chairs have legs, Joe?
So that so that they stand up,
Right, but that means that there's something underneath
hold
the
you up,
legs.
to hold you up.
But Joe, that means that there's something underneath the legs.
Right, gotcha,
You
gotcha.
understand now?
Yeah,
So the
I
whole
gotcha.
why would the Bible say that? Why would the Bible say that the earth has four pillars? Four, like we use for tables and chairs, and cars have four wheels. We have four appendages, limbs. Appendages is fingers.
Advantages.
That's funny too, because in cartoons they only use four fingers because it looks weird to do five. All cartoons you'll see from The Simpsons, they have either three or four
All right.
fingers on their hands. But there's always four. So four pillars, which would mean that the earth is on top of something else.
Hmm.
A flat earth, a flat table with four pillars underneath on top of another what? I mean, what? What's holding if the earth is flat, that's fine, but what's holding us up?
Gotta be another Earth.
What is it? Are we still in space? And why would God build a dome? Why, if God built a dome, like I'm imagining like a clear see-through dome, right? Why would he do that? Everything else is natural on this earth. Why would he make something unnatural?
Think he would.
Right. To me, that's unnatural. That's why it makes me feel like we would be in a petri dish on some kid's, on like Wesley Crusher's desk. Okay, that's enough with the Star Trek. This is my prediction. Picard's not going to last too much longer because if I'm saying his name, if I'm saying Patrick's, it always happens to me, guys. You have no idea. So the prediction of death. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, a lot of weird shit happened to me like that. My girlfriend's mother had best friends, was still in Brooklyn, and I happened to be visiting her, and she was struggling with her third fight with cancer, but she survived. She was great. And I happened to be in Brooklyn at the time. So I went and visited for all of us, and I stayed for a while, was with her husband and husband's mom. And I gave her a kiss and I said, this is from all of us, meaning my best friend, my best friend's mother, who was her best friend. It was my best friend's mother's best friend that I was seeing. As soon as I left, my girlfriend calls me. I couldn't have been a block away. As soon as I left, she's like, "Did you get to see Angela?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." She goes, "Well, she just died." I was like, "What?"
Oh my God.
A kiss of fucking death, right? This shit always happens to me. You don't understand. My life is a paradox of coincidences. I am not kidding.
No, it is. Oh, yeah, I'm following it. I'm seeing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe
Oh, I
that.
can't.
That is
So
true.
now that I'm thinking that I'm saying Patrick Stewart a lot and I'm doing all these things, he's gonna pass. Watch. I mean, he's about the age. So, but it just,
You ruined him for me, man. That's for
I'm
sure.
sorry. Oh yeah, you
I
didn't know he
never
was
knew he
gay?
was that. I never fucking knew.
I always thought so. And my
My God,
boyfriend,
man.
he was doing some kind of Broadway, he was doing some kind of off-Broadway play in our neighbor, either in New York or I don't remember if it was in Brooklyn or the city, but I was gonna go. It was either that or go to the Renaissance Fair or something. And my boyfriend's like, no, I'm not gonna let you go to see fucking Patrick Stewart. He was afraid I was gonna do something like outrageous. And I'm like, I never told him that I always thought he was gay. And it came out to be true. I mean, he still doesn't, people still don't realize, but there's not many gay men that sit, not many straight men, I should say, that sit cross-legged so well. He was a Broadway actor. He was flamboyantly, that was it. He was in A Christmas Carol. I think he played the Scrooge, but he did something where he was going to be live, just him. And that's what I wanted to go to and try to get backstage passes. That was probably the only time I ever tried to do anything in my life that would cost me money to go see someone. I just don't care about people like that. Like if they're famous. I don't know why. But most of the New Yorkers are like that. Like my friends wouldn't give a shit, really. If it was someone we liked, maybe, like Patrick Stewart, but I wouldn't recognize half the famous people. I'd be like, okay.
That's just, yeah, that was a shocker.
I couldn't believe
Sugar
you were shocked. Look at
was,
him. He looked like the woman's man. He was so smart. Oh, he's gay as fuck. Oh, and you're not going to tell me
there
when
we
William
all day.
Shatner didn't like it up the ass.
Freak me out.
I just hurt a lot of people's feelings. Well, listen, William Shatner is a conspiracy upon himself. He's from Canada. He got famous pretty early around the time where the cabal started to take over Hollywood. They probably started prior. You got to understand, like, when I looked up Drew Barrymore, it was her great great grandmother that was like one of the pioneers of female actresses. Because back in the day, it was always men acting, right? Now we know why, because it was always the cabal, right? So we have like this history of it staying in the family.
Yes.
Drew
Yeah,
Barrymore's
that
father
I
was the,
believe the cabal and all that evil shit and them being inbred and all that shit. I do believe that. That I
well,
believe.
that's good. That's a start. And you believe in the
Wholeheartedly, I
sex
believe that.
trafficking and the
I do
child
believe in
trafficking.
this. I do believe in that.
Now,
Yes.
why, tell me this, why were two giant COVID boats sent to New York and not used?
COVID what?
Boats, the boats.
Yeah.
Remember the
The
boats were
ships.
sent to New York, the ships?
Yeah.
Boats, ships, sorry.
Because they lied.
Because they lied? What do you mean? Why did they send two ships, medical ships, to help New York City with COVID and they weren't used?
Hmm. Interesting.
It's because they were used,
Yeah.
Joe,
They
by the
were.
children.
Oh,
There were so many under New York City. And I'll tell you something. I could feel it. I know it. I just know it's true. I know it.
God, I never went to that city.
Oh, I loved it. When I was
I'm glad
growing
I
up, it
never
was a
went.
nice city. Dad would take us all the time. I was 12, 13, going to Manhattan, seeing Broadway plays on my own. All right. So it wasn't long ago that this city was not so treacherous.
Right.
And I mean, I was hanging out. I always hung out in Washington Square Park or
But then
Times
again,
Square when I was a kid. It was,
how long have they been doing this shit for?
yeah, but that's the thing. It just got worse and worse, especially when they took over. the presidencies,
Yeah.
right? It just got worse and worse.
Hmm.
They still had people getting in. I think Carter and Ford, I think they were all cabal or forced into cabal like Reagan, because Nancy was the bad one, not Ronnie. Reagan, Reagan was the good. I don't know. Nancy was definitely mafioso princess. She oftenly reminds me of Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, and I wouldn't doubt they're even related. See, I mean, people change their names for a lot of reasons. And I always wondered why well, Hollywood stars do it all the time, right? But why do women have to take on men's last names? Was this really a thing?
Hmm.
Was it really a thing, or was it to hide names again? Now if Barrymore was going to get married, it would be Mr. and Mrs. Barrymore. But back in the day, and then these Hollywood people don't have real names to begin with. And why? Why? I mean, why pick different names? I mean, I understand picking something crazy like Starship Jacobs or something, fine. That's like, oh, I'm going to stick out because my name is Starship. But Michael Landon, for example, that's not his real name. Now he changed it from a Jewish name, but why pick Michael Landon? Like what? That's not like that's not in your face. His name was Jewish. I think it was Oswitz or something. Like it was very Jewish.
Hmm.
It's just
The Landon sound better, maybe?
it doesn't matter. Some of them did it because that's what everybody else did, but some of them did it to hide who the fuck they were. You know, what's Nancy's real last name? Nancy Reagan. I don't even know her maiden name.
I don't even know.
That's it. See? That's my point. It's usually for a reason. They always did something for a reason. Putting women's lib in. Um, the prohibition. That one kind of that one kind of messes me up because it could go either way, the prohibition. Joe, what are you doing? Are we done?
I am finding out. Uh, Anne Francis Nancy Robbins.
Robbins, that's right. Oh, I did
Mhm.
know that, or forgot about it though. A freighter collided with an American aircraft carrier. Oh,
There
that's
you
more
go.
than a coincidence.
Yeah, yeah. See, I just barely skipped over that article. Thank you, Joseph. So yeah, it was.
Aircraft carrier. War with the planes.
So how did that happen? When we're using
Well,
Chinese
I
parts?
can't believe that it's all Chinese parts. I'm
Well,
sorry, that doesn't
we're
sound right.
using Chinese parts in our military.
What it is
Everything.
the 3D world collapsing. The
Mhm.
the the controls. This might be an actual Y2K, but they got most of it under control.
Well,
Most of it. I don't know. This is very bizarre. It's not what I expected to happen. Okay, wait a second. Unless we fit it into the 10 days of darkness. They've been saying for 10 years, 9, 10 years, there's going to be 10 days of darkness. And I've suggested where people think that everything, like the internet's going to go out for 10 days, everything's going to, you know, just go puts for 10 days. I don't think that's exactly what's going to happen. We're not going to lose all electricity. No, it's parts of the world. It's going to be added up to how many hours or whatever are in 10 days. But it's not going to all happen at once where all of us are going to, like, the whole world will go black. That's what I've been trying to explain to people. That's my guess because they couldn't let it happen. where we all went 10 days without internet or TV or electricity or food or what. I just don't buy it. So they would have had to do it precautionary and have things turned off here and there, and it might have other things fail because of it.
And you don't think it already has happened? It could have, right?
Oh no, I already know it started. We had
No, I mean
Facebook.
already happened in past, and we're already past that. We're on the upswing
Oh
from
no, no, no. We definitely didn't go through
like
10 days worth. We had Instagram and Facebook down, Google went down, few things went down here and there, all over the world at different times. Now, is that,
that's
I
what I was
mean,
thinking at that
adding
time.
hours to that, it can't be more than 3 days. It can't be more than 72 hours of shit. So I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I'm only surmising with that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
All right, I am ready. It is
All
time.
right. We have had one long discussion. Thank you all for listening.
If
Appreciate it.
anybody did.
Yeah. Uh,
Nobody loves us. No, I'm kidding.
dwell into our thoughts.
We're growing. We're
Yeah.
getting there.
It's, I'm
One day,
trying hard.
one Friday night or Saturday night, we'll have everybody come in.
That would be so nice to talk to everybody. That would really be nice if we could do that.
I have to ask Chris to help me. I'm gonna have him do it. Because as much as I would love to try it on the first go, I'm not,
Mhm.
I'd rather have him do it. I mean, it's one thing to have everybody in Zoom and then go live. That's easy enough, but I wanted to go the opposite way. And I actually figured out how to do it, and we have to, where the hell do we paste a URL in? And you have to open up Zoom with what, Joe? The host key.
Yeah.
You have to start doing that. And you have to take co-host. Don't let me forget to give you co-host all the time. Practice makes perfect. I'm such a bitch, right? I'm so anal. I would have been good in the military, somewhat. I'm also drastically crazy, so, it doesn't work both ways. All right, guys, we love you.
Hold on. It just looks like the illegal aliens just got kicked out of the hotels in New York.
New York.
Yeah, they just kicked them all out. They got kicked out of the hotel. New York Mayor Adams just signed an executive order allowing ICE to use the infamous Rikers Island jail for housing illegal detainees. He was forced to do so after Trump and DHS Secretary Noam clawed back all the money for luxury hotels for illegals.
Oh,
Enjoy your
no.
new home,
So
illegals.
thirsty.
Woo! You going to jail, motherfucker, because that's where you
I go to
belong,
jail.
bitches.
Oh my God.
And we're tired of fucking paying your way.
I'm gonna call my
He's gonna come here.
sister-in-law. I don't really talk to my older brother. I don't want to. It's true when, your parents die, your family kind of separates a bit. It's so sadly true, but I really don't care either way. We have so much more to. They'll realize they'll be like, "Oh shit, Carolyn's been right the whole time. She wasn't nuts."
She wasn't nuts after all.
My brother knows it. That's the problem. My eldest brother, he knows it. He's probably
Yeah,
like, "Holy shit, where did she come from, the little
yeah.
monster?" But I'll call like my sister-in-law tomorrow and because she's still in Brooklyn. Uh, I'm gonna find out how fast this works for you guys.
There you go. All right, that's what I had.
There is one in our neighborhood. This is a very strange. Okay, so Nathan's had been there, and everybody knows. You know what Nathan's is, right? It's not a New
Yes, I
York
do.
thing. Nathan's
Yeah,
hot dogs, right?
yes, I do.
Right. It was open in Coney Island. It's been around forever, and there was one on a very
I like their hot dogs, so I buy it.
busy. You would, right? Sucking on a hot dog. Well, there was one in a very busy area where we lived, and then then they closed it down after like 50. I swear to God, it's been there since I'm a kid, so it's got to be 40, 50 years or longer. I don't know. So they closed it down, and these were very important because these were drive-ins. We don't have many of those. You have to have a lot of room to open up a drive-in, right? Um, so later on it became an olive, what are they called? The restaurants? Uh
Olive,
Olive Branch? No.
what, hey, olive what?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Garden.
Dang, that's crazy.
Became an
Y'all
Olive
talk
Garden.
about
Woo, man,
Olive
No,
man,
Garden like that.
man,
the
short-term memory is
hypocrisy of
bad.
it all, an Olive Garden in Brooklyn. You gots to be shitting me. You can't walk 10 feet without an Italian mama showing you how to make pasta. Are you fucking serious? I mean, although the pizzerias were taken over, the Italians were like leaving, but still, so it shut down pretty quick, and that area became a luxury hotel for the immigrants. This isn't very far from my sister-in-law. That's why it's like less than a mile, less than a quarter mile, really. Even less than that, I'd say. It's very, very close. Um, so I'm gonna find out from her like what exactly is gonna go on with this hotel. I haven't seen it. I did pass it last time I was in Brooklyn. I didn't look because I'm always used to
Mhm.
thinking it's Nathan's or something, but so I'm gonna ask her what happens. She goes, you wouldn't believe it's like 5-star in there. I don't know how she found out, but she does work with buildings. Like for most of her life, she's been working with buildings. She sold our building, as a matter of fact. So I'm gonna ask her like she's like, there's a pool in there, there's cafeteria, there's like all these beautiful. Hey, come on now. You don't have a community for the kids, but you got that shit? Give me a fucking break. So I'll find out as soon as I can. See how fast that goes. I'm so proud right now. Adams was not part of the cabal. He was just stupid. He was
Yeah,
trying to
that
get elected.
now that I totally believe.
Yeah, he was just stupid.
He was
And that
just
Hochul
stupid.
bitch, she's
Mm.
probably one of them. She's bought.
Yeah,
Adams, I don't think was
yeah,
bought.
yeah. I think he's actually an innocent one.
Yeah,
One of the
played up
innocent
in the
ones.
wrong routine. He's gonna smarten up real quick.
Yes, he is.
That's
He's
what I
gonna
think
get
is
a
gonna
lesson.
happen. And
He gonna get
hopefully
a lesson.
he'll be a good mayor, since
Yeah.
Giuliani and
Mhm.
Koch.
Yeah, I think you
Miss
guys. I think
Koch,
I think
love
New
Koch.
York will have a good mayor when they enlighten him
Yeah,
and let him know.
yeah. Well, he's already been.
Yeah, well, they have, yes, because they saved him. Trump saved him. They made him.
Now,
They
wait a
made
second.
Trump
Didn't
made
the
the
FBI go after him before Trump was in office?
yeah, and yes,
See what
and
I'm
then and
saying?
Trump
Do you
and Trump made
think,
him stop.
right? No, 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 no,
Yeah.
darling. It was our FBI. It was the good guys that went up to Adams and said, "Hey, Adams, I'm going to open your eyes right now."
Mm.
Okay? It happened before Trump, before he was in office. I'm trying to prove to you that it's never mind. You know what? Never mind. I'm talking to myself now. All right. Good night, guys. We love you.
I was trying to find it. Yeah.
It's fine. We're done.
Yeah.
Let's say good night. It's what time?
Good
It's like
night.
12. Yeah,
Good night,
time to go.
everybody.
I need to play spades, Joe. Come on. For
At
real?
least, duh.
Jesus, how dare you?
Good night,
Love
everybody.
y'all.
Have a great